Hey Dimer, how's it going? That the fucking thing blocked actually his message, so I didn't even see it there. Like I have this little drops thing enabled, so it even shows up on me. Like, why would it show up on my own channel if I'm logged in as myself, right? That drops are enabled. I'm gonna get a drop from watching myself and my own chat. I wonder if that's actually how it works, but I never really understand how those things work, and I don't really encourage them. But I guess I'm just too lazy to turn them off, so they're always there. But very few games have ever had that happen. I think when I played Clash of Clans for the first time, and the only time, because I've only played it once, that had it or something, and then just chess had it a couple times when I was playing like on chess.com. Although how it would know that, I don't really know. Because you could just stream the category of chess period, and it would say, you know, it would say you get a free sub on chess.com, but I could be playing it in any other site. That seems kind of weird. Okay, so today is episode 3 of my little Smite Permadeath God Gauntlet, and again, for all intents and purposes, this is effectively a first playthrough too, because a lot of these characters I haven't played as, and I only really played the game a very, very small amount, and it's like a fresh account too, for whatever purpose that matters, so everything is going to be sort of raw for what we experience here, and it even proves it. I like that they show this. I don't know if this does it like for the sake of the month, keeping track of the days, or just generally, right, your login rewards. That shows you it must be only my third time playing, because and I haven't even gone in to test it because it's saying it right there, day 3. So we played as the Arachne chick in the first 2 episodes, and I wish it showed me the stats and everything, but I guess it doesn't because it's still unranked play or whatever. But effectively, we won like maybe 5 or 6 in a row, and of course when I lose I can't play as them anymore. So she died and we lost to what effectively must be bots, or at least super low rated players. I keep speculating that they must be bots because they're playing in a very weird robotic way and just kind of rushing you and playing without any strategy. But what happened in the last game that actually caused me to lose somehow was the fact that your team relies on you so much that I got cocky in the beginning because we were on such a good streak or whatever, that I just kind of face rolled even more and just, let myself die a couple times at the beginning of the game, and then we couldn't catch up because you have to carry them so hard. So the beginning is very, very important, whether that be against bots or maybe even against players. You obviously can't feed people in these kind of games anyway, right? In the early games, you just have to play it safe, but yeah, somehow I died like 2 or 3 times in like the first 5 minutes or whatever, and then our whole team was just getting dominated. They'd get a team kill every time you die, either again because I'm just so good compared to these low-rated players, or because they're obviously just bots. And if they are bots, I don't know how long that's going to go on for, really. Right, and I don't even think we're able to play ranked games for a while. So what I said is, not only do we get to uh, we rotate the champion every time we die or you lose a game, right? We have to move on to the next one. But also, I changed the game mode. So we played this one for the whole time with Arachne. Now we'll play this one for the whole time with whatever next champion we have. And then this one will be, we'll do it like that. We'll change the game mode too, which at first I was apprehensive, but I guess why not? So what I will say about this one is this was a badass, awesome sort of game mode that every game should have, where it's like just very straightforward and to the point, where you get to enjoy just sort of the base mechanics. It's a great sort of introductory thing to play the game with. Like, you don't have to worry about the lanes, you don't have to worry about the shop and there still is the shop, but you don't have to worry about all those other elements. Like, just go straight for it. That's what I always say League should have, or maybe it had it in some form but nobody really cared about it if they did. Like, I even liked a 1v1 format in League that you could manually just do, but just basically a base mode, kind of like Smash Brothers, Final Destination, with no items and 3 stock or whatever, right? No timer. So it's just the base mechanics that you're trying to flesh out. And then you could worry about all this metagame BS stuff later, right? So, like in League, a mode where you go in, you play as the champions, and there's no leveling up, there's no items, there's no nothing. You just have the base abilities. You either start with all the abilities or whatever. Right, maybe there could be still leveling up, but there's no like other things to worry about, like metagaming the shop, or even I won't even say there shouldn't be lanes, but this was just very fun to maybe represent that, oh, this is a casual MOBA, which technically it is considered that, which I don't like how it's called that, right? Like, it might be intended for that, but it can be hardcore, I'm sure, if you're just better at it. Like, you know what I mean? There's esports for it. So what, is that casual too? I mean, I want to see the best League of Legends player play the best Smite player, and see in their opposite games. How good would the best Smite player be at League? How good would the best League player be at Smite? Like Faker or whoever it is now. Yeah, we'll do the Joust mode. It's 3v3, so of course my skills and impact are going to be amplified and magnified all the more because there's only 3 people. And then this goes back to 5. So this is more like the normal one. A large strategic map with 3 lanes and a jungle. I'd be the type of dude to jungle, even though I'm not the jungler, right? I just kind of wander around and do whatever the fuck. Dominate your foes on a small team map with 1 lane. But yeah, this is a pretty awesome game mode. And again, I'm disappointed that we lost that, just because that might be one of the best streaks we're going to have, even though, you know, if we start actually playing against players or whatever. So we can't do... I don't know what that means. Why is it like on a timer too? But unlocks to level 30, unlocks to level 30, so that's going to be a long ways to go. You do not have enough player experience. North America. Co-op I don't really care about. Training I don't really care about. Custom I don't really care about. Yeah, we'll look through and see which champion is going to be next. I was basically just going in alphabetical order, but what I might do is I'll skip the ones that I base own, right? The ones that you sort of just start with, and the ones that I'll do. And actually, it's worth mentioning, I skipped this series last week, actually. So like when I go to upload this on YouTube, it won't make sense because there'll be a week, you know, a week short, because I did the first 2 episodes with Arachne. Then last week I just caught up doing chess or something on Wednesday, right? This is my Wednesday slot series, and then I just didn't even do it last week, so I said fuck it. So the 2 mechanics I didn't use at all were the shop, right? I was just letting it auto purchase, which I might still let it keep doing that, but at least I want to see how it works. I couldn't even figure out the button to open the shop, right? Just to see what's in there. Maybe when you're auto purchasing, it doesn't let you, or maybe it's something about that game mode. I don't know what it could have been, because I kept hitting P and B and stuff and it didn't work. And then also like upgrading the abilities, you have to like hold down something like F1 and Alt or whatever. So we saw that like in the tutorial, but now I couldn't remember last time. And you would think it would keep telling you like there should be a pop-up since you're such a new player or whatever. But use any number of game modes, multi-queue, Odin's Assault, first win of the day. I guess I won't worry about these game modes, right? These are just their own little thing. But like, yeah, that one doesn't even fit in here. What is Odin's Onslaught? This game mode features a large jungle where they face off, must reach the goal of 40,000 gold. So yeah, we'll make this one what it is, but there's nothing that would indicate that you are meant to be playing against bots here, right? It should just be whatever, but I can understand when you're such a low rank, they want to do that, but if there's not a fresh influx of new players. Now we got a little fucking Transformers crossover, which is... How can they just blatantly do that? What is this, Magic the Gathering, where they just steal other people's IP, even though it's, you know, not really stealing and they're getting the rights? It's like random Post Malone crossover, random fucking Transformers, random Lord of the Rings crossover. Like Fallout, they had the dog and stuff for sale. Right, like it just sort of comes out of nowhere, and it's kind of like... It's blatant, too, how this game... One thing I don't like is how they name the gods what they actually are. Like... It's not somebody based on who's somebody that we know like really well, like Zeus or Poseidon. It's not somebody inspired by Poseidon. It's literally just fucking Poseidon. Like, how do you just do that? You could say, oh, there's no copyright on these Greek gods or older whatever, but you know what I mean? It just feels... So anybody could just do that. I could just make a game and just call, you know, I don't have to come up with anything. I'll just make Poseidon. I'll just make... Like, obviously, every game does that to some extent. They'll take... Oh, and this kind of burns me out, too. The fact that she's still free. How long does the fucking free rotation last then? Like, or it would kind of show you your progress too. I don't understand exactly the worshippers thing, how that works, but no, like I'm gonna have a bias towards like I'm going in order, but I'll skip ahead to her. Like let's say Queen of the Banshees, literally Sylvanas over here, and the reason why I'll do that is because I want to prioritize the free rotation, right? These ones I could play anytime, right? But if I don't play this now and then it goes off the rotation, I might miss the chance or whatever. So not that I'm going to try to lose like super quickly to make sure we get through that, but that means I could still, it must be like a monthly rotation. But even then the month just started, so I don't get it. Because that was 4 weeks ago now, right? So we did the first 2 episodes over the course of 2 weeks, then we skipped a week, and now it's the 4th week, and you're still able to do it. So I don't understand that. Joust, Duel, Conquest, Leaderboard. All I want you to show me a difficulty average. I guess I would have considered it easy. Or this was arguably one of the worst heroes to start with because it's like a melee thing, but I actually find her quite fun. They kind of grow on you over time. Entangle your enemies' webs and let your rulings tear them apart. So, I mean, we're just kind of doing a eulogy for her because she's already dead. No, don't show me those stats. Show me my stats. Like, win-lot. Why doesn't it count? What the fuck? Like, I understand these might be unranked games, but it should still show you to some extent. That's so stupid. Yeah, see, I don't care about all these builds and stuff. You shouldn't really have to worry about them. And, oh, maybe I should read this. I should read this maybe as the eulogy after the fact. Once a beautiful and talented weaver of cloth and fabric, a single prideful mistake made a monster of Arachne for all time. With loom and even this, they don't have to write themselves. They can just steal it from whatever source material, the character is actually based on. But see, this is the high stakes nature of it. Now, I like the character too, even though at first I was apprehensive because of the melee stuff, but now I can never play her again for the rest of my life, literally. Not that that's really a condition, but at least for this series and for a very long time. Maybe like a year down the road if I come back and do another series on it. But with loom and thread, there were none more skilled than the mortal Arachne. Viewers traveled leagues just to see her art. So wondrous and majestic were her tapestry, it was said that the spinner must have been, now she does a different kind of spinning, I guess that's the whole point, must have been instructed by the patron goddess of weavers herself, Athena. To this comparison, Arachne proudly scoffed, claiming not even the gods rivaled her talent in weaving. Oh, well, that arrogance maybe didn't do you well. When Athena heard this, disguised as a crone, she visited Arachne and encouraged her to show the proper respect to the gods. Arachne dismissed the old woman, and look how insecure Athena is, though. What the fuck? Issued a challenge that no god, not even Athena, could weave better than she. Furious, she revealed herself and accepted the challenge. They both set the loom to the loom with fervor. Athena wore a glorious tapestry, but did she know at this point? Revealed herself, okay. Athena wove a glorious tapestry depicting her battle with Poseidon over the city of Athens. Her detail and imagery were exquisite, yet Arachne's weavings depicted Zeus in his many infidelities with mortals. So flawless, so lifelike was her artistry, not even Athena could refute her skill. Nor could she contain her anger at such a sight. Violently, so she lost, and she's salty too. A god loses to a mortal after being insecure. Violently, she tore Arachne's tapestry and pressed a finger to her forehead. Twisting in anguish, she fell to the ground, and as additional legs grew from her body, screaming as she transformed into the first. That's so fucking lame. At least if Athena beat her, but she didn't. She's even saying, not even Athena could refute her skill, nor could she contain her anger. So she's just as mad and just punishes her for nothing. Twisting in anguish, Arachne fell to the ground as additional legs grew from her body, screaming as she transformed into the first spider. It was an act of anger and pity, a lesson and a curse. For spiders are the greatest of weavers, and Arachne in particular was to weave for all time, but none could doubt the consequence for Arachne's pride. Still, within her twisted heart, she never forgave Athena, consumed by a dark hatred that can be sated only by destruction of the gods. I mean, kind of justified. That is funny how they write it. They make it seem like, oh, we're going to have a fair contest and Athena's going to win and humble you. Oh, wait, she doesn't even win. So what the fuck is that? Use God cards? No, we're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you very much. So we'll go Clíodhna, however you say it. Melee. Oh, we get another melee one, though. As much as I was saying I actually enjoyed that. At first, I started to down it. Right, assassin as well. Difficulty average, jungle, which actually might be a little relevant now if we... But in a 3v3, there is no jungle. Like, you're all just... I mean, I guess there could be to an extent, but you know what I mean? Like, there's 3 lanes. Or maybe there's not. Let me look at the map again. No, because there's 3 lanes in a 5v5, so it must be like... I don't know, I'll have to look at it again. Melee, physical, assassin, high single target damage. I assume she is the same thing. Great jungler. So she's not as great of a jungler, I guess. Also difficulty average. You might question, like, if I go on a really long streak with them, right? How will I play them? Because then, let's say they go off the rotation. Like, I last literally, like, forever with them. Man, she looks pretty badass, too. No, stay like you were before. It would mean that I would have to buy them with the in-game currency that I've earned over the course of this playthrough, right? I don't get to use real money or whatever to do that. So I have barely enough to buy a single one, which means if I went on that long of a streak, I could do one of 2 things. I could either buy the hero that I went on the good streak with that fell out of the rotation to continue it, or I could just leave it on hold and then come back to it if it comes back on the rotation, right? But it doesn't mean I have to play them like right back to back, but I do prefer that. Like, we fortunately got to do that with Arachne, and surprisingly, she's still on there. Right, so what else did I want to do? I just wanted to... I really want to see some way to keep track. I mean, I guess I have it all in video, so I could just track it manually, but I really want the game to sort of tell me the record, like what my stats are. It doesn't mean that it matters as far as it doesn't mean it matters as far as like, oh, look how good I am, because it's obviously unranked and it's against bots and whatever the fuck. But at least just show me what the thing is. History. It won't show me anything. That's so dumb. Worshippers, I didn't really understand what that meant. Like, 42 out of 50. So if you get to 50, it'll rank you up and you'll get like some cosmetic for it, or what? It can't really make you overall stronger. When you play a normal or ranked match, you will gain worshippers for the god that you played upon completion of the match. Gain enough worshippers each god to master them with access to special skins. I guessed it. Reach mastery X, rank X on many gods for exclusive global emotes and recall FX. Rewards are given like when you recall back to base, they'll say like a special line or something, I guess. Okay, so that was a very fun game mode, and we do get my wish of, okay, so there's only one lane. So if you're gonna jungle here, you can just kind of fuck around and do whatever you want. And so, okay, we'll do that in a second here, and just trying to think if there's some other setting or something I want to change. But yeah, we'll play as this one, of course, until I lose, which clearly is going to last a very long time. But the lesson learned is whether you're playing against bots or not, and of course I let that sort of lull me into a false sense of security last, you know, because of the first episode or whatever. The problem that happened was I let myself get so overconfident that, again, I started the early game just playing like a total fucking clown, and then I died a couple times, which was fine. Right? I still ended with a pretty good stat line, like 25 kills and 5 deaths or something, whatever. But you know what I mean? It sets your team back, and when your team is only bots, even if you're playing against bots, that somehow happened. Like they get a team kill and they just sort of farm your dumb ass and stuff like that. All this shit should be muted and everything. There shouldn't really be anything I have to worry about. Let's just go ahead and try this. So, or you know what I don't even do is I don't even really look at my character's abilities, which you should be allowed to do that. I mean, yeah, I guess I could just look at them. Banshee's Wail, ability type, cone, silence, damage. Range 30. I don't know how you actually say this either. Clíodhna wails at her enemies of horror, causing damage 3 times, with the final hit being the strongest. The final hit will also cause, but no, that was my whole idea for like that game mode, basically the open arena thing. It's like it's all about just the base abilities and the skill shots, and you know, your mastery of those mechanics. So that's satisfying for both experienced players who want to avoid, you know, we're sick of the meta, we don't really want to worry about that being such a defining important factor. And then it's great for new players, like we just want to try the mechanics and just have, you know, action-packed, free-for-all type of environment. It's a great way to introduce the game. I'm surprised more games don't really show that as a, even if they have it, they don't really properly advertise or encourage that sort of format. Wails at enemies, okay. The final hit causes, will also cause enemies to be silenced and deafened for 1.5 seconds. While channeling the scream, yeah, I'm literally cheating by looking at the abilities, though. I should have to figure it out dynamically in the course of the game, but I guess I did this in Paladins too, though. That was my last, obviously, Permadeath Gauntlet. The one I almost want to do after this would be like NBA 2K for whatever weird reason, like where I'll do it with the historic teams and stuff. That was always so fun to do. That's one of the really old school ones that I would do. You know, even like off stream, I would just play through like every single team on the quick match and play until I lose, and I have to play the next one, and it's just that could be my next one. It's sort of like a fun, not that this will end ever, because I'll be so, we'll literally be a god and we'll just never die. So okay, while channeling this scream, Clíodhna is immune to knockups, while while inside Just Live in America in 2024. Am I right, dude? You'll never get knocked up successfully. While inside a wall, Clíodhna will cause a spectral face to appear and wail in her stead that damages only enemy gods in a wider cone, so it's not going to hit mobs or creeps or whatever. Banshee's Wail, Phantasmal, ability type buff passive, can walk into walls once every 13 seconds. Into them or like through them. While inside a wall, she can move freely and use some of her abilities. Oh, this is going to be way too advanced though. Every point for I'm not going to do it at all. I'm just going to face roll the whole time. Or like, I wonder if you can go inside the turrets then or whatever. Or there weren't really even any turrets. Like there was something happening that resembled that when you got too close to the other base, but I couldn't really see exactly where it was coming from. Every point per second, she loses 0.12% of her health, stacking up to 40 times. You cannot enter a wall while below 25% health or crippled. Yeah, this is a medium average difficulty hero, by the way, too. Like, this is such an advanced thing. Not even saying you have to do it, but like, to do this properly is going to be so insane. You'll end up just killing yourself like a clown with that, health reduction. You cannot enter a wall while below 25% health or crippled for 5 seconds after she gains 15% physical ability lifesteal. That's a great way to escape from threats and stuff like that. You can just walk into them whenever you want, like, or whenever that thing triggers. You don't have to like do anything to enable it. Flickering Vision's ability to align. I didn't even do this for Arachne too. Clearly, that's why I must have lost the one game. But that was after playing it long enough to know. And I was just kind of playing a very face roll. I was playing like a fighting game or something, which you can get away with maybe to an extent at this low level. But he fires a distorting bolt of energy that explodes on contact. Now these have pretty good ranges for a character that's meant to be, melee. So this doesn't seem too bad. Explodes on contact with the living soul. Enemy gods hit by this explosion lose the ability to perceive her for 4 seconds. If Clíodhna attacks or is hit, she flippers back into vision before fading back out. As long as one enemy god is debuffed, gains a movement buff speed. So the thing that's weird about that, though, is you'll hit one god, right? And they won't be able to see you, but everybody else will. So this is good in like a 1v1 type of environment where you're in a lane with somebody else. It's like if you're in a lane with 2 versus 2, it doesn't matter because the other person is going to kind of let you know just by how they're attacking and stuff, right? But I guess maybe you still can't hit them, but you could use like AoEs and stuff in their direction. Like you won't be able to target them like with an auto attack and stuff. Oh yeah, and that's one thing that's more satisfying in this game somehow is the auto attacking. Well, both the perspective and the auto attacking. Like, I always hate that Diablo bird's eye view, whatever, top-down perspective of games like League. I'm not a big fan of that. It's immersion breaking, things like that I always say about the Diablo-style hack-and-slash type games, which, of course, that borrows after. It's like playing an RTS game where you only control one unit instead of an army to actually justify why it's so zoomed out, because you have to see the whole army, but now you don't, which implies, like, quantity over quality of enemy types or itemization, stuff like that, like how Diablo games are designed like that. But the other point is the simple fact that the fact that what was I saying? Like, oh yeah, the auto attacking is still more satisfying too, because you're doing it sort of more manually and actively rather than just I don't know. It's like I remember even playing Anubis. That was one of the characters I played maybe a very little amount, but that I had played when I played this game before many years back. It's like you would have to actually aim where your staff was going or something. And it might not seem like a big deal. Most people just hold it down and it's good, going to be a generous hitbox and things like that. So I'm not saying it's like a real skill shot or a big deal, but that's still more satisfying than just clicking on like their portrait, right? You click on like their whatever, like how you hit the mobs in League. You just click on their overall figure and it just auto attacks them, whether you have a ranged attack, whether you have a melee attack. Right here you at least feel more like it's tactile and you're more doing it hands-on, even if all you're doing is just clicking the button. It's kind of, I don't know, and maybe it's more satisfying that in a melee context. But no, even as Anubis, you have to aim the shot, not just your skill shot ability, but actually the base melee attack. It's like comparing an MMO to like Skyrim combat or something like that. Not saying Skyrim's melee combat or anything is that good, but you compare like World of Warcraft, you had to, tab target and just hit the button and it'll auto hit them. Whereas in Skyrim, okay, you have to shoot a fireball, but you actually have to charge it up and actually aim and hit them, right? Or whatever. Fireball's a bad example because that's like an AoE anyway, but incinerate or whatever. Dashes forward, damaging enemies she passes. I wonder if it follows a model like that too. So this one will always be the mobility ability. This one will always be like some sort of CC. This one will be, I don't know, I'm just assuming. Dashes forward, damaging enemies she passes through. At max range, this does seem like a pretty advanced character though, at least if you use the stuff properly. At max range, if she cancels this dash, or upon refining the ability, she will unleash. What does that mean? Upon refiring the ability, she will unleash a claw swipe that deals heavy damage. She can cast this ability. The range is always so good though, but I guess that includes the act of doing the dash. She will unleash a heavy damage swipe. She can cast this while inside a wall, resulting in the dash traveling farther. So you're supposed to use those obviously together. Kind of, this is like a stealth character. Dashes forward, better stealth system than Ark Survival Evolved, damaging enemies she passes through. At max range, if she cancels the dash or refiring the ability, she will unleash at max range. If okay, so any of these scenarios, if you meet, if it's at the max range, or if she cancels it, or if she, I don't really get the cancel. So you'll cancel like midway, or upon refiring it, she will unleash a claw swipe. Okay. Oh, what is this? Oh, is it actually going to be a little video tutorial on each of these, dude? Yeah, just learn it by actually using it yourself. Carrying the veil, cone slow damage, range 85. Yeah, this is a melee character, by the way. Range 60, range 75, range 85. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it must be your base ability more so that it's talking about with that, but Clíodhna tears the veil between life and death. When the rift first opens, it deals heavy damage and deals rift damage to those in target line and slows them. Enemies hit by subsequent hits take 40, and I have to imagine like how these are going to look or how they're going to work, because when you're using it in the heat of combat, right, you're not going to know exactly how it looks in practice. Like you can say, oh, it opens in a cone or whatever, but in a line and slows them. Enemies hit by subsequent hits are take 40% less damage. What do you mean? Enemies hit by subsequent hits take 40% less. Stacking up to twice the 80%, this ability has 2 charges. I assume it's only less damage from this, though, not from everything. Well, that would just help them too much. Rifts can be destroyed by basic attacks. Clíodhna can use this ability while inside a wall. When used this way, the veil is not fully torn, instead activating when a target gets too close. Can have up to 3 rifts active. Can use this ability while inside a wall. When used this way, it's not fully torn. When it first opens, man, there are some interesting dynamics with this for sure. But no, the spider chicks seem more more basic compared to this. That would be easy, and this I would consider difficult, just because there is a lot of depth to this. So you can use everything inside of a wall except for, or no, I guess you can't use that. You can use this one inside a wall. Can cast this inside a wall. Can cast this inside a wall. This you cannot cast inside the wall. Right, but you can basically go into stealth. They lose the ability to perceive you. This one also you can't use. That's really all I want to see. I can read the lore, like maybe, like I said, as a send-off once we give them their little eulogy. Yeah, let's just go ahead and try the 3v3 thing. I don't know exactly how we're going to worry about the lane, or I guess there really is no lane. So if we were to lose this one, then I would have to play the actual 5v5 thing, which I don't even mind that, but it's the sort of thing I'm not really in the mood to do when playing a game for the first time. Like, it feels a little maybe bogged down in some way. No tank, low magical damage. I mean, you're not going to have every roll with this kind of thing anyway. Right, and everybody just kind of face rolls. So either evil brats, ready to rumble. These don't really sound like bots, but Victory or Nah, Father Andy, and Chico Sansan. Whether they are bots or not, you should still take it seriously. Again, especially at the early game, just don't worry about it. So it's only a 1-lane thing. I'm not exactly sure how we should go about this. Or B is always just that. It must be I that was the shop thing that it was trying to tell me, but... And of course, I don't know how all these other mechanics and things work, but for the you kind of start with all the abilities anyway, so... Or what I was doing is... Somebody was actually trying to help in like a YouTube comment when I uploaded the first part of this, but I only skimmed it, so I try not to actually take too much advice that way. But the whole thing is, like, with the movement, I was kind of praising the fact that it's kind of slow, so therefore you'll rely on the mobility abilities. But obviously, if you backpedal, this isn't something you need to know from this game, really. Just any game, if you backpedal, or it's always slower than strafing or doing whatever. So what is this guy doing? Somebody's doing something they shouldn't be doing. Or that's what you do so much in League, is you sort of just needle them, but you don't really do anything with it. Come on, at least kill this one fucking clown. Maybe if the other fucking clown would do something, but maybe we're not meant to, but That's the whole fun of this too. You can just do it as much as you want. This isn't a fucking MOBA. This is like a fucking fighting game. I'm too much of a pussy to try to actually go for anything. That's my problem. Isn't this like an unnatural thing for the person to do that would convince you that they sort of are a bot? Fuck. I'm either greeting or I'm not greeting enough. Like, we got them all low, but it didn't accomplish anything. But it kind of accomplishes something to the extent that... Or you know what I hate the most in these games is the whole last hit precedent. I really would never design that mechanic myself if I made one of these games. Why would you do it? Like, you're rewarding your opponent for... which one is the one that you go like this? That's just good to get around, too. I would never do that because it's like... It makes the whole experience of it feel farcical, then. Yeah, nice fucking dive, dumbass. Now you should be able to 1v1 this dumb clown. Right now you should play super aggressive. And the reason why is because, you know, we just fucking team kill. Clearly that means I'm so good. Like, I want to believe that that's what it is, but... I just... Maybe my judgment's bad. I can't tell whether these are players or not. You got to be careful fighting them in the actual thing. Oh, fuck me. Damn it. No, but I'm getting these pretty badass melee characters, actually. I'm not too upset about it. So this whole F thing, I'm not sure exactly... One of these you're supposed to be able to upgrade, and I don't get exactly how it works. Or, I guess what you're supposed to do is... See, like, my one ability has 2 ticks, so how and when did that happen? I don't even know. Like, there's some relic upgrade type of thing that it kept telling me to do that I don't know how to do. I'm going to end up ignoring... How are they destroying our tower when we just fucking, like, team kill their dumbasses? I mean, how you could let this guy get away is beyond me, because... Or I keep trying to attack when I don't need to. And the reason why is because... You know, if you spam attack, obviously you're going to move slower than if you're not doing that. You shouldn't try to be too aggressive with the towers, and the reason why is because, you know, you don't want to team fight them right there. You got to back off, backpedal like the dumb clown that you are. I keep getting tempted to use that 2 ability, or that 3 ability. But yeah, you just got to kind of needle them a little bit, and no real reason to do that. The Sobek guy is pretty tanky. Like, why are you even playing like that, dude? I'm playing face roll, but you're playing just clown face, dude. They're totally fucking still bots too, but it doesn't mean we can't still lose to them. You got to just play on the tower, which that ceases to work sort of later on in the course of the game, but I'm just gonna die. Like, I already know. There's nothing I can do. Or you got to know when to hold back, or fuck, man. That was still kind of worth it, but like I said, there's a big tendency whenever I die, the game just is over because they can't fucking handle anything. So we're letting them auto-purchase for now. I don't know exactly where that's even conveyed. Item store. Auto-purchase, only activities. Okay, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I couldn't seem to access the shop or whatever. Wait, let me use this to get forward. We're not in a bad spot positionally. It's just like they're going to keep feeding like a dumb clown. Experience camp, damage camp. But no, I love the simplicity of these maps to the extent that you might think, oh, that's just like a whatever casual thing to say, but there is a certain value to it because you end up appreciating just the base mechanics more, especially when you're playing a game for the first time. Right? I don't want to worry about the map and those dynamics. I just want to worry about the characters and whatever you have to work with there. How are you able to kill me like on the tower? Like, I don't get it. Like, how? I'm gonna play like overly aggressive here, and I shouldn't really need to, but they should be able to finish him off. But I'm getting pretty low pretty fucking fast here, so I'm not too happy about that. We're 9-5. It's not too bad. Actually, it's horrible. That's why I quit my last job, because I was 9-5. Haha. Fuck. That is one thing that triggers me actually, just in a personal life sense. Like, I hate stuff that's like on a time. Like, I'll do it when I feel like doing it. But even like with streaming, I'm like that. I stream every day, but I don't know when the fuck it's gonna be. Whenever I feel like. These clowns, man, these clowns. What is this? Demon King. They sort of back off robotically and stuff too. I don't know what to make of these guys. But no, they'll always piss you off like that in League. Like, there'll be this long range character that does like half your health in one hit. And that's what it became, says the guy who always played Kale, who very easily could do that. But Kale wasn't meant to be what it became now. What you got to do is have the patience to sort of slow pace this out. And what that means is you would basically be in a position to do it like this. You should be able to just do it because you're protected by the stupid ass tower. So why should I be getting low or whatever? That's good. We always let somebody get away, but we are sort of farming them. Even if they almost destroyed my tower, right, we should be able to kind of come back and do the same thing, but... And I always like to tap the attack, auto attack, instead of just doing it. Yeah, I'm kind of too scared to even try to do that because... I don't know, like, you're just gonna kind of ignore it, but... How did they do that? Like, we're doubling them up in the score, but they still are able... You look at me, backpedal away, but I guess in this situation, it doesn't really matter. Fuck off. So it hit, like, one of my own guys is why it stopped, or what? Order towers at 25, which means we're not really even safe here at all. But... what the fuck is going on? Yeah, has a player kill. Are you sure any of these are actually players, though? Yeah, I'll blame my mic positioning, because I always say that. My mic, that happened to be in Dead by Daylight, that was actually pretty funny. It blocks, like, a certain part of the center of my screen that normally isn't an issue in most games because the UI isn't there, but, like, the generator prompt in Dead by Daylight was, like, right there. Or, like, the health bar in this game is kind of like that, at least to where you can't see it exactly perfectly. This is your Titan. If it's defeated, your team will lose the game. Yeah, we get it. Wait, somehow they failed to destroy the tower, though, when it only had... so that must prove they're not players, because they couldn't be that fucking stupid. Like, they could have easily done that amount of health. So, we should easily be able to do this. But this dude is pretty fucking tanky. I'm not going to deny it. Come on. How is it possible, bro? Okay, why can't we do any fucking thing to the tower, dude? I gotta stop using that 3 so aggressively. I gotta use it to get away. Or this is how you end up losing, though, sadly enough. Like, they'll keep feeding so hard, but I guess, you know, that can happen normally in the course of a game anyway. Or what I should always buy is just, like, potions. So they are gonna destroy our tower, and we're not up by, like, a meaningful amount. Or they're too stupid to even do that, somehow. They're too stupid to actually fucking... Or wait, I'm up in health now. Or yeah, you do have like a certain lifesteal capability here. Wait for this dumb clown, but I'm actually having trouble dealing with this guy. Maybe for the simple fact that he's just such a tanky type of character that I don't feel very encouraged to try to 1v1 him, which you always do have those kind of issues sometimes. You can use that sometimes just to get away. Yeah, they're totally bots. Look how he backpedals away right at that point. Either it's like an expert player type of mechanic that he's doing, or whatever. I don't care. We'll go on a 1,000,000 game win streak, but it's amazing that we still... that it's not a little smoother. And not even because, oh, I should be so good that I'm making the difference, but the way these guys feed is such a clown show. I don't even feel like attacking the tower. I just don't know why I feel so scared of it. We destroyed that middle tower. So if we were playing against players, we would have probably lost the game, or we would have at least lost the tower. And the reason why is because of the simple fact that it was at 25 health, so you could have easily done whatever the fuck you wanted, right? You could have just gone in there and hit it once. Like, that's how dumb they actually are, that they don't have the confidence to do that. They're playing almost as cowardly as me, like, where I'm too much of a pussy to actually try to hit the tower. is because I can't target it with the auto attack mechanism that I'm making fun of, like in League and stuff. I have to actually manually hit it, and then I feel like I'll accidentally hit the... I guess that's one disadvantage of it. Since your hitbox might be so big or whatever, you don't know exactly where you're hitting, so... You know, you might accidentally hit them and not realize it or something. I'm probably going to actually die here because my dumbass team is going to be nowhere to be found, or you can just use that. Now, you do have these other sort of base abilities, which I don't even know exactly what they are, or you are supposed to be able to upgrade them. I don't fully understand. Or I just use the G without even meaning to. But no, they'll never destroy the tower at this rate because they won't even go for it. The AI is wired like the wrong way. These stupid ass bots want to attack the players first, or I guess the AI is the smart one there. But at least we destroyed theirs first, even though we really didn't deserve to. Average Sylvanas role player over here, though. Or you would get like part of the win condition in the other mode just by killing the creeps, like period overall. So like, look at this guy going in with that amount of health. You're trying to tell me that's not a bot play, dude? What the fuck is this, dude? Or even just the way he's chasing and completely ignoring me. Like, I know these players aren't good, but this is something else, dude. This guy's way too fucking tanky though still. Yeah, I should almost just go back because... Look at him trying to sneak around the outside here like a dumb clown that he is. Or you got to use that at like the max damage, right? That, I think it does more, or I think it just... It says it stops and hits when you are at max range, but it seems like that did more at least. What? I mean, doing that was kind of dumb, I'll admit, but fuck. I didn't think I'd get killed that easily. I had like half my health, didn't I? They must have used like their ult or whatever. No, I don't know how you upgrade those two. It even shows it there, but it's like F5, F6 maybe, something. Or wait, what? No, don't surrender. Fuck, I don't know what I'm hitting. I'm gonna accidentally surrender by a hotkey. Fuck. How would the bots even interpret that? Or yeah, what if you did lose like that? Like somebody surrenders and it's like you are able to upgrade your shard to a relic, but I don't know how to do that. So Control G maybe? No. I don't fucking understand. Whatever, that'll be a hard mode condition that I'm just not allowed to even do that, and I shouldn't have to worry about it too much on top of whatever we're doing, like auto purchasing and shit. Alright, so they took care of that shit. That's perfectly fine. We obviously are doubling them up in terms of the kill ratio. And so we can just go and just kill this shit, I guess. Which maybe I shouldn't be the one tanking it. What the fuck is that? I guess I don't know how some of these things work. I expected it to be strong, but not that strong. Well, it was still worth it. You're able to upgrade. Yeah, I genuinely don't know how to do that. You think it should be more clear. Auto skill. Well, auto skill is on. I mean, everything is just auto. That's why it's a casual game, but it's more just like I don't even want to worry about it, right? I just want to enjoy the base mechanics, and we can all, there's no rule that I have to do it like that, but for the most part that should be fine, right? Just do everything sort of face roll. Or how do you like make your mouse appear? I forget. It's like alt, I guess. Cards can be upgraded to a new relic once you reach level 12. Okay, let's try not to let them come back or whatever here. But this stupid ass Phoenix has like an ult that's gonna fucking destroy me. They are sort of under leveled, but we are also clowned up, so we're not gonna be able to actually do anything. Like, I'm still gonna lose this 1v1 regardless of anything. But see, even this base little thing of actually having to manually do it is somehow more satisfying than whatever, dumb mechanics. I mean, I got to do this format with League. We all know it at some point, but I just don't like the current state of League where it's so bloated and everything. I loved Kale so much at the beginning of whatever, around when the game first came out, right? Or you know what they had? They had this sort of talk about some what do you call it? They had this talk about like some classic League bringing it back, but that would be like some sort of fan-made thing, so I don't know if you'd even be allowed to stream it or whatever. You know, like now I'm scared about the whole thing of... What the fuck? I underestimate some of these ults or whatever it is that they're doing, for sure. I mean, generally the pace favors us, but what can happen in these moments is if they team kill you, right, and they have enough precedent to just push your base, they might just kill your base and just win the game in the amount of time that it takes you to respawn. That could happen, and there were plenty of epic comeback moments like that in the context of... The one thing I didn't use in this game was the wall thing at all, but yeah, there were plenty of badass moments like that in the context of League, or... You know, you could just win the objective even if you don't win the actual... You're not winning on the score. But when it's this lopsided, you wouldn't think that would be an issue. Oh, I thought it said decide. Deicide. That's a good one. Don't hear that word very often. But yeah, I apparently had already 100 god kills in just only like the 4 or 5 games or whatever I played with Arachne. So that shows you how much I was carrying them, clearly. But... this one maybe doesn't feel quite like that. Yeah, he just walks right into us like a clown. What does it look like? 13, 5, and 14. See, that guy's actually doing better than me, so I'm getting outplayed by a bot or whatever. Or we can just kind of farm, spawn camp the Phoenix. I don't know why I feel so paranoid and scared of attacking the tower. Like, I don't know. We're in these situations where... it really makes me nervous. You can't do it as long as there's a player there, so why would I do it? Or it's not even a tower in this case, but... I don't know, I'm just kind of scared of everything somehow. We should be up by enough to... people are going to keep saying that too. Why do you keep delaying your clicks when you could just... Oh, that was actually just the final thing. I thought there was something more still yet to go. That was like their Titan equivalent of what we saw in our base. This is your Titan. Actually, it's their Titan. Okay, so it's still pretty smooth, even though we died a couple times in a bit of a lazy way, or like I kind of underestimated how good their ults were and stuff. Back is skin. Yeah, are you going to penalize me for actually trying to concede the thing when you received a commendation for excellent teamwork? I don't know about that. First win of the day, 2 times battle points, battle pass reward. Okay, so that was a good little first game there. Yeah, there's a few things I don't get. Okay, I don't mind auto purchasing, and I don't mind auto skilling. The one thing I can't figure out for the fucking life of me, and let's try to do it without like using any external resource or help. Let's see if we can't figure out how the fuck do you upgrade, or I mean, auto skill, auto. I guess I don't really care. Like, we don't need to do anything. We can just... All right, we'll do another one. And we, of course, have to pick the same character. Or I guess I don't really, but it would be too hard to keep track and remember every single thing, right? Like...
Clíodhna.
It seemed like my mic bugged out somehow, so I don't know how long that was happening for.
You should know,
It just went really quiet for some reason. Or yeah, all her noises are kind of a little creepy and stuff too. I hope that didn't ruin too much the first game. That was just because I was cheating and I was having somebody else play for me, because clearly I could play at such a high level to beat these shitty fucking low-rated bots. Order tower. No, but the other map didn't have like such conspicuous. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but they kind of looked different, or it wasn't just that. I almost couldn't see where it was coming from because they were in such a far side of the map that it didn't matter, right? You were doing so much fighting around the middle that you didn't care about the towers as much. Yeah, let's just play safe at the beginning. Don't try to go for too many easy kills and things like that. Or actually, I'm gonna tab out and look at this in a way that's gonna get me in trouble. But no, I feel very nervous actually about, or you should try to kill some shit around the side while you wait here. I'll end up just kill stealing it. Yeah, that's the best way to play any of these games, whether it be League or something else, is just like do it in such a way that you don't actually, if I die here, it could dictate the whole outcome of the game, that we actually end up losing just because they sort of team wipe us or whatever, right? That could actually be the difference. So a normal game between normal players is never going to be like that, because why would you ever overcommit that hard? Like, it doesn't make sense. Okay. That was still worth it, I guess. Not that I really knew exactly the extent of what that would mean with respect to... And see, anytime you leave like that, they're just gonna die. Like, they're just gonna stand there and let themselves die. You have the Phoenix that keeps coming back, obviously, and then we have the Titan after that. Is kind of how these things are organized. The respawn timers aren't really too bad, but it's basically like, in this case, I don't feel bad about doing this because it's a 1v3, right? So you almost just got to run away and everything. But they're not going to, because they're fucking moron clown bots. Okay, now, whether we should do this or not, I'm not sure. I keep botching that thing somehow because I'm not saying players can't be aggressive, but like, what the fuck is this kind of behavior, dude? Come on, come on. How? Or you gotta always... Fuck. You always gotta do it in such a way... Yeah, I'm the only death, too. You gotta do it in such a way that you go through them, but I don't understand fully how that still works. Right, because it seemed like one time I did way more damage, so either I did it like from inside a wall. I haven't used that mechanic actually at all yet. I'm using that effectively as what I should be using for my F. Okay, we'll just kind of stand pat for now. Our tower hasn't taken any damage, and they can be a bit of a clown when it comes to attacking the tower. Like, it could have the 25 health for like an hour, and they won't even do anything about it. You know, that's a bit of a face roll, dumb thing to do, but it was tempting nonetheless. Or it sort of punishes a melee type of character like this to try to be in a position like that where they're just outside the range of the thing. You know, any sort of range character could obviously easily deal with that. Let's just stand here and fucking face roll it anyway, but it didn't work. Okay, now they're catching up. You would think they'd finish them off in that time, but... This is exactly how we lost the one and only game that I've ever lost in Smite, I guess, apparently. Possibly, because I don't know if I had lost any in any time I had played it before. But if you die early, it's going to put your team at a major disadvantage because they rely on you too much. Whether because, again, you're just so good or whatever. Or whether you... whether it's all just bots. We can't play too aggressively here, but you know, it kind of works when they play like a clown like this. I always have a bad habit of letting them get away. Yeah, see, when you do it at close range, it doesn't do anything. That's the problem. Or what I keep forgetting to do is the 4. Like, I never even use it at all. I don't think I haven't used the wall, and I haven't used the 4 very much. Now we're just trying to hold down the thing until these clowns come back, but you know, you're not really worried about the towers that much, so it's fine. I think I've died twice out of the 3 times. 4, 2, and 4. Yeah, the tower doesn't matter for now, right? Like, they're not going to do that much to it. Oh, that almost didn't feel like it should have hit, but it looked like it partly hit. Like, I just don't want to be part of what he's doing there, dude. Yeah, we don't want to stay there necessarily the whole time, because somehow I become an easy target there, so they should be able to finish it off, but they won't be able to. Like, what the fuck kind of behavior is this, too? Yeah, they really thought they were gonna get the kill on me in that situation. Lazy little recalls on a map that's not even that big that you can easily just walk back or use this to get back in time. But no, I honestly kept forgetting that I even had the 4. So, okay, now at least the odds are a little better. 11-3. Or what happens here is you end up developing bad habits too, because you won't be able to get away with playing like this against actual players or whatever, good players to some extent. Okay, we can do that one. I feel like the 3 I'm really botching a lot, where I'm not really using it properly at all, but you don't have to necessarily go for the kill there, but it's just so tempting, right? I can be very greedy at times. I don't get it. You got to go like the full range, and I'm just not doing it somehow. I keep trying to hit recall too, and then it just doesn't do it for some reason. Let's see. I wonder why my mic randomly just went like that. In fact, now I'm worried that it might do it again. It just like randomly disconnected in the middle of my thing. Or maybe it was like that from the beginning. And no, it couldn't have been. Alright, let's just play it safe now. Using that actually as mobility is not a very good idea. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous about this. Use that to get out of here. I mean, yeah, who needs the F when you have that shit? But no, they move so robotically in and out of the thing that it makes me feel like they're not... Whatever. Yeah, just go ahead and turret dive. But look how easily you're getting pushed down, though. This is one thing I don't like. You're a melee character, so you should be a little more tanky than this. Even though you are like, you know, assassin, almost like a stealth type of character, but it's a weird sort of mixed message, or it's kind of a weird way to even start this whole playthrough. I haven't done it really by design. I just happen to have played 2 melee characters like back to back in such a way that, you know, I don't even feel confident enough to try to do that. Oh, that jump is kind of sexy though. Now you become sort of untargeted and then you just do whatever you want. Her voice is all exasperated and stuff too. Or I'm standing like in the stupid alt or whatever. Yeah, my stat line should clearly be the best of anybody, regardless whether you're playing against players or not, or with players. Why did I feel like you could do that 2 times like back to back? You go here and just to measure it out, like you go there, and then you should do a high amount of damage based on that, or whatever. I'm kind of sometimes trying to auto attack too much, even though I'm also the type not to hold it down. But no, in a way, I've always liked this game. Not that I played it that much, but I always liked this game more than a lot of those other ones, whether it be because of the perspective or, you know, you could say, oh, because it's easier, simpler, more approachable, but it's not even necessarily about that. It's just... it can be as complex as you want it to be too. It's just, I don't know to what extent abilities actually affect this either, but I'm just tempted to use them nonetheless. I don't care, just go for it, dude. Now you've opened yourself up to get fucking destroyed too. You think the turret's gonna save you, but we're not clown bots like you, where we're just gonna leave it at 25 health and fucking target the player on the fucking turret. Now, I died to the stupid ass Phoenix the last time. Okay, that little grab can be very scary at times to deal with, and this guy's just gonna get himself killed like the clown that he is. So we don't have to overly push too hard here. Targeted by a Phoenix. What does the G even do? It just makes you go faster, I think. Some of these things I haven't even read or whatever. You have to hold down Alt. Control or Alt? Which one? You like open up the mouse. Oh shit, I'm getting distracted by that, and I'm getting torn into a whole fucking other dimension and everything. You just destroy that like for what it is. I still have my tower, so I'd be very upset if I end up dying. That just gives the illusion that you're moving faster, but you're really not. Now don't play too aggressively and let them get our tower back. You gotta play very disciplined and obstinate sometimes. Just, you know, appreciate the slow pace of it, even though this game is inherently much faster paced. The number 4 is interesting, so you can kind of sneak up and do what you want to do. Alright, it's completely off base with all that. Okay, this isn't working out quite how I intended even. But they're too much of a pussy to even come into the tower range, which only really makes sense in the early game. Where did everybody else go anyway? See, look at that. Look at that robotic movement. So how long am I going to have to play against these bots for anyway? Come on, just finish them off, finish them off. And all this fucking screaming. Imagine if I wasn't playing this with headphones on, like you'd actually be having calls to the police from your neighbors and shit. All this screeching and screaming, dude. It sounds like a good Wednesday night. Spiders, banshees, and screeches. Quite a combination. Sounds like a good Friday night. That is one of my favorite and most quoted lines in any story, anything ever. From Until Dawn, where the doctor's like that. So like he asks all your fears and he's like, whatever combination you say, aliens, spiders, zombies. Quite a combination. Sounds like a good Friday night. Oh shit, what is going on, dude? Or we're gonna split damage and not focus fire like the clowns that we obviously are. Come on, button mash harder, button mash harder. Fuck, fuck, fuck. That would be too much of a pussy to actually finish it off. You have to be in like that little zone at the end of it, right? Like I can see that, but I feel like I've done it and it's not doing that much damage, or anywhere else you hit it is just weak. Or she says that like she's almost looking forward to it. My time draws near, like almost an orgasmic. I always hit that and then it just doesn't work. Yeah, this trick is actually pretty fun too. Almost makes up for losing a melee character in Arachne. And both of these game modes have been very fun and just very to the point. Whereas the 5-lane thing is going to turn into some sort of toxic clown fiesta, right? Even at the low level somehow, but I don't understand the whole botting element, because what is it that I'm doing that is not maybe conducive? Like, let me maybe look at the other game modes after we win this. I have 2 out of the 4 deaths myself, but whatever, dude. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. What the fuck, dude? There's nothing seemingly that I can do when that happens. Like, it's all just stupid. Are you serious? We have this stupid ass Titan thing going on, and I don't know to what extent I want to really fuck with that. We should have some damage over time side thing that finishes them off. That was happening a lot as the Arachne chick, right? Those little spiderlings would always do some shit. You should never do an ability like that in that situation. But yeah, I mean, this should be a cakewalk now. Just kill the fucking Titan. Somehow their Titan doesn't seem that intimidating that I didn't even think it was that big of a deal, but I'm trying to measure like how far that's gonna go or how good that actually is, but just because of the level disparity, you might be able to do this in a 1v1, but somehow, or wait, it just died to like the creeps or whatever before anything could even happen. That guy's weaker than a fucking tower. So what I want to look at is, let me look at the game modes and see if I'm maybe choosing some that are more conducive to making you play against bots, because otherwise I don't really understand it. But I'm getting commended and stuff too, so how could a bot commend me? How could, or maybe we're just playing against bots, but we're not really... what is all this? 9 unlocks. Battle Pass reward. Free level 13. Battle Pass reward. Experience team booster. I don't want to use any of this though. Cosmetic. What the fuck is all this? Cerebrus God. What does that mean? You just get him, period? Like, okay. You can deal with that because obviously we'll be needing to scrape by for every single one. The real goal of a format like this is to play as every single one in the game, or to give you sort of variety and have high stakes too. Obviously, if you lose, it gives you a nice little showcase. Either you're going to go on a really good streak with one, which means you keep playing them over and over, and that's fine, and that one can really grow on you and you can really flesh it out, or you're going to have a fresh variety. Even if you lose, you keep getting to play every single character in the game. But of course, you can fail that if I run out of playable ones, right? Because they're not on the free rotation, or I don't have enough resources to get them, right? Then I just run out and then I lose. So I'd play as all the ones that I possibly can, which there are a lot. So, you know, even if I abuse the free rotation by, or maybe some of them just stay on longer. I can't remember if all these ones were on it, but I think they were. Either I abuse the free rotation by making the series so slow paced, where like today I would have only played like 2 games even, but that's fine. Just I did sort of a little longer intro and I didn't have that much time, but this was just to make up for the fact that like I didn't even do it at all last week, so I definitely couldn't skip it this week. So I'm usually pretty good about not skipping categories like that, but I was just so obsessed with getting the 1700 in chess last week, but I didn't even do it. This is featured, this is normal. So maybe this is what I have to do. But isn't this like somewhat just the same thing? Like, why would this be any different? Solo up to a party of 5. Like, this is the same mode. This is Arena Normal 5v5. So isn't this the same thing? Arena 5v5. Maybe I'll just start choosing them from here. Right, like I don't see what would be different, but... So like Joust would be the same thing, right? Joust 3v3, yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so what else did I want to look at? So just to say like the few things that I'm not doing. I'm not using the shop, I'm auto purchasing. I'm not saying these are even rules, but just for now. I'm not upgrading abilities, I'm just letting it do it. And I'm also not worrying about even upgrading the relic, although it'd be weird to see like what exactly is some keybind that I just keep forgetting about that I must have seen in the tutorial, and I almost don't even care enough to do it. And then what else am I not doing? I'm probably not playing against players, but there's no way that I can actually figure that out because I keep thinking it's not. But okay, see you tomorrow.